Hey everybody, Pastor Vern with your daily update for September 4th, 2020, as we continue on in our series about the books of the Bible and different things that we're trying to understand a little bit better. Kind of our floating Bible study as far as the time of COVID is concerned, having it online like this, and I appreciate those who have been following this. Also, um, we are getting back into it after a couple days away. I just didn't get things done uh, in a way that I was able to keep up. We got a lot of things coming up here in the next few weeks as we prepare for church conference and some other things. So we're going to try to get these in, but sometimes they slip between the cracks. As we go on, yesterday we talked about First Corinthians. Today we're going to talk about Second Corinthians. We talked about First Corinthians, that Paul sends this letter to the churches in Corinth that have been, it's broken into two groups. And these are corrective letters to straighten out some things that were not being done in a way the that Christianity was being somewhat misrepresented and being somewhat twisted. And that was mostly by the church members at that time, as they were trying to. They had this feeling that they wanted to be Christians, but yet they didn't want to have a changed and enlightened life, and they wanted to stick to a lot of the things that were keeping them from a full relationship with God. And now when we go to Second Corinthians, Titus sends Paul a letter about, well, you know what, that letter that you sent to the church did a pretty good job on the people, but now we have false teachers coming in. And actually, we have some that were supposed to be carrying documents that were produced by the church in Jerusalem, and there's some questions whether those are legit, or if the people decided on their way to Corinth that they were going to preach their own style. And they were really teaching false narratives of what Christianity is meant to be, um, and they were growing really hostile towards Paul, because Paul sent this corrective letter, and Paul's close followers, like Titus, who was in the area, were calling them out, and so Paul had to write this second letter in order to tell folks that um, you have to beware of the false teachers, that you have to relate to those who are following Christ in a manner that is in the servant attitude and not of the self-serving attitude. And so he writes this second letter, and he talks about a lot about the sorrows and joy and the comfort of being in relationship with God, and then how we are strengthened by love in that relationship. Um, One of the things that's interesting to read in Second Corinthians is he uses a lot of metaphors that kind of creeped into our language in general. We do get a lot of things from the Bible that's part of our general conversation, sayings and quotations and so on. And so uh, Paul writes this brilliant letter. And, without being there personally, I don't think there's anything he could have produced better than this letter in order to pull the church back together and to admonish the false teachers and get them out of the scenario where they're causing discourse among those who would seek to be Christians. It's really kind of split down into about three sections. It's the explanation of what's going on, the exhortation of God's word, and the exoneration of his people, or how to be exonerated by returning back to the life that Christ would have taught us to live. This one is some good reading, because we have, especially if you're someone who is into literature and into how literature affects our daily being, and if you're into how different word combinations such as metaphors and similes and those kind of things are used masterfully, Second Corinthians is a good read for you. All right. Well, y'all take good care of yourselves. Watch out for others the best you can and stay safe. We'll see you later.